Most people believe manipulation begins when someone lies to you. They're wrong. Real manipulation begins long before a single lie is spoken. It starts the moment someone quietly changes the way you see reality. They don't force your decisions. They don't threaten you. They simply guide your thoughts so subtly that, by the time you've made the decision, it feels completely your own. That's what makes manipulation so dangerous. The best manipulators never steal your freedom. They convince you you're using it. Think about your own life. Have you ever trusted someone almost instantly without knowing why? Bought something you never really needed? Stayed loyal to someone who constantly disrespected you? Changed your opinion because everyone else seemed to agree? Or apologized even when you knew you weren't wrong? Most people call these mistakes. A skilled manipulator calls them predictable outcomes. Psychology tells us that people make emotional decisions first and justify them with logic later. Once you understand that, you stop asking, "Who is stronger?" and start asking, "Who is controlling the story inside my head?" History is full of people who understood this principle. Empires weren't built with armies alone. Businesses don't dominate because they always have the best products. Politicians don't win simply because they tell the truth. The people who shape perception often shape history. Because once belief changes, behavior follows. That's the hidden rule most people never notice. And here's the brutal truth. Intelligence alone won't protect you. In many cases, intelligent people become easier targets because they trust their own judgment too much. Confidence lowers suspicion. Ego whispers, "That could never happen to me." A skilled manipulator doesn't fight your logic. They recruit it. They give you just enough information for you to build the false conclusion yourself. The moment you believe an idea is yours, you'll defend it as if it were the truth. So before we uncover the manipulation techniques that feel almost illegal, remember this. The goal isn't to become a manipulator. It's to stop becoming a victim. Because the most dangerous prison has no walls. It exists inside the mind. And most people never realize they're trapped until it's too late. Imagine walking into a store with no intention of buying anything. 20 minutes later, you leave carrying a bag full of things you never planned to purchase. Most people blame weak self-control, but that's rarely the real reason. In many cases, the decision was carefully engineered long before you entered the store. The lighting, the music, the product placement, the discounts, even the order in which you saw the products, none of it happened by accident. You weren't forced to buy. You were guided toward believing it was your own idea. That's the first and perhaps the most dangerous manipulation technique, the illusion of choice. Here's the hidden rule. People fight against commands, but they willingly follow decisions they believe they made themselves. That's why the world's best manipulators don't tell you what to do. They simply shape the environment until your preferred option becomes the one they wanted all along. Machiavelli understood that direct force creates resistance, while subtle influence creates obedience. A ruler who constantly threatens people eventually creates rebellion, but a ruler who makes people believe they're acting out of their own free will gains something far more valuable: voluntary loyalty. The strongest form of control isn't visible, it's invisible. Think about social media. You open an app to check one message, 30 minutes disappear. It feels like you chose every video, every post, every swipe. In reality, powerful recommendation systems constantly influence what appears next. They don't force you to keep watching. They simply keep placing the most tempting option in front of you. The choice is yours, but the path was designed by someone else. Here's the brutal truth. The most effective manipulation rarely looks like manipulation. It looks like kindness, opportunity, convenience, even love. That's exactly why millions of intelligent people fall for it every day without realizing someone else designed the decision. Imagine meeting someone for the first time. Within minutes, they make you feel understood. They know exactly what to say, when to smile, and how to make you feel important. A few weeks later, you trust them more than people you've known for years. Was it genuine connection? Or did someone quietly attach your emotions to their presence? This is one of history's oldest manipulation techniques. Emotional anchoring. Here's the hidden rule. People rarely remember every word you say, but they never forget how you repeatedly made them feel. Once a strong emotion becomes linked to a person, the brain starts trusting the feeling instead of the facts. That's where manipulation begins. Modern psychology explains why this works. The brain constantly builds associations. A song can instantly bring back a memory. A familiar smell can transport you to childhood. In the same way, a manipulator repeatedly connects themselves with comfort, praise, attention, or excitement until your mind starts treating their presence as the source of those emotions. After enough repetition, your brain stops asking, "Can I trust this person?" and starts assuming the answer is yes. You see this everywhere. Luxury brands rarely sell products, they sell status. Relationships can work the same way. Someone overwhelms you with attention in the beginning, making you feel special and irreplaceable. Then that attention slowly disappears. Suddenly, you're no longer chasing the person. You're chasing the feeling they once gave you. That's not always love. Sometimes it's emotional conditioning. Here's the brutal truth. Strong emotions are not proof that something is true. They only prove that something feels powerful. Skilled manipulators know this. They don't demand your trust. They create emotional dependence first, because once your emotions are attached to them, your decisions usually follow. Imagine you're in the middle of an argument. You explain your side clearly, expecting the other person to respond. Instead, they say nothing. No anger, no disagreement, just silence. Minutes feel like hours. Suddenly, you find yourself speaking more, explaining more, apologizing for things you weren't even responsible for. What happened? Nobody threatened you. Nobody forced you, yet somehow, you started negotiating against yourself. That's the power of silence. Here's the hidden rule. Silence creates pressure, and the human mind hates unfinished conversations. When people don't receive the reaction they expect, the brain automatically tries to fill the gap. It searches for mistakes, invents explanations, and often blames itself. A skilled manipulator understands this. They know that silence is often more powerful than the perfect argument. Machiavelli believed that revealing less than necessary gives you an advantage. The person who speaks first exposes information, emotions, and weaknesses. The person who stays calm learns all three. In every negotiation, every conflict, and every power struggle, information is currency. The one who collects more usually controls the outcome. Psychology supports this. Humans are uncomfortable with uncertainty. We naturally try to reduce it as quickly as possible. That's why long pauses in conversations feel awkward. Many people rush to fill the silence, often revealing thoughts they never intended to share. The manipulator doesn't need to ask better questions. They simply wait. The same thing happens in everyday life. Imagine sending someone an emotional message after an argument. Hours pass without a reply. Your mind immediately starts creating stories. Maybe they're angry. Maybe I said too much. Maybe I should apologize. Before you know it, you've written 3 more messages, trying to fix a problem that may not even exist. The silence became the manipulation. Here's the brutal truth. The person who controls the pace of the conversation often controls the conversation itself, not because they're smarter, but because they're more comfortable letting the other person become uncomfortable. Every manipulation technique we've discussed has one goal: to influence your decisions. But the most dangerous manipulators don't stop there. They aim for something much deeper. They don't try to control what you do. They try to control who you believe you are. And once they succeed, they no longer need to manipulate every decision. Your identity starts doing the work for them. Here's the hidden rule. People will question their opinions, but they rarely question their identity. The moment a belief becomes part of who you are, defending that belief feels like defending yourself. That's why identity is the strongest form of psychological control. Modern physiology agrees. We naturally seek consistency between our actions and our self-image. If someone convinces you that you're the loyal one, you'll stay loyal even when you're being treated badly. If you're told you're the successful one, you'll spend money just to maintain that image. Once an identity is accepted, the brain starts making decisions that protect it, even when those decisions are harmful. Look around. Brands don't just sell shoes or phones, they sell identities. Politics often becomes identity instead of discussion. Online communities reward people for thinking a certain way until disagreement feels like betrayal. Even relationships can become identity traps. Someone repeatedly tells you, "You're nothing without me," or "Nobody understands you like I do." Over time, you stop questioning the statement and start living by it. The prison is no longer outside you, it's inside your own mind. Here's the brutal truth. The greatest victory of a manipulator is when you start manipulating yourself. At that point, they don't need to pressure you, argue with you, or even be present. Your own beliefs keep you trapped, and that's why this technique feels almost impossible to escape. Because the voice controlling you no longer sounds like someone else's. It sounds like your own.